Hello there! So I just arrived from Tokyo. We had a viewing party there at Ihawan. I would like to thank Ihawan management for such a wonderful reception. It was a blast until the end. Of course, you know what I mean. We have a new Miss Universe, and that's our very own Miss Philippines. I was right. So let me give you now my thoughts about Miss Universe Finals 2018. Let's go. Regarding my top 20 hot picks, I only got half of it. It's a little bit disappointing. Still, I'm proud that I got 3 out of my top 5. And my top 2 is the top 2. South Africa and Philippines. But, you know, there are a lot of surprises really this year. Who would have thought that Miss Hungary would be there? Who would have thought that a candidate as strong as El Salvador during the preliminary competition, the preliminary gown and swimsuit, wouldn't make the cut? And who would have thought that the outstanding performance of Miss Ecuador during the swimsuit and gown preliminaries wouldn't merit her a spot in the top 20? And there are others there. India didn't make it. Indonesia came in. Mexico and Colombia didn't make it. Costa Rica and Brazil came in. And these are just the examples of the surprises. The show, I think, is the best in recent years. You know, if there will be top 3 Miss Universe editions of all time, it would definitely be included. Because that is really one great show. It's almost flawless. As flawless as CATRIONA. Of course, her performance was polished. It's as if there were unseen production team that are guiding her way to the right places. During the gown segment, you did not see CATRIONA Gray. You saw a Miss Universe. As early as that. And when she was called in as one of the top 5, and she's right there in the middle, well, whether we admit it or not, she looked every inch like a queen. And the other 4 are princesses. Then and there, you would already have a hint that CATRIONA Gray would become the new Miss Universe. But don't get me wrong, I was still a little bit rattled during the top 10. I was really hoping that Miss Nepal wouldn't make it. I'm not really a hater. In fact, I mentioned in my top 20 video that USA and Nepal might enter the top 20 because there is a possibility, a great possibility, that they would come up with the strongest performances during the preliminary interview. And I was right. They made it through, even with their lackluster performances during the preliminary competitions in gown and swimsuit. India didn't make it. And I think that was partly because of what I told you, you know, regarding her fierce look, which was very consistent. She was tough all the way. And I think it was a little bit late already to change that, you know, facial performance that she did during the preliminary round. I think so. Well, I'm not sure. It's just a guess. It's just an opinion that it might have affected her chances of making through. That, you know, she has maybe forgotten that she is in a Miss Universe pageant. Because with that kind of strong performance, she was really very confident and, you know, full of emotions and really determined to showcase her wares. You know, in the truest sense of swimsuit competition. It would be surprising to see her out of top 20. So it should have been because of that factor. Or maybe she did not really perform well during the interview. Costa Rica was amazing. Brazil was beautiful. Indonesia was charming. So I think they deserve to be there. Big time candidates were not part of the top 20 this time. Mexico, Colombia. Some of those candidates who made it to the top 10 just used the gowns that they had during the preliminary competition. They should have changed. Why would a top country in terms of beauty pageant would just bring one gown for your representative? You know what I mean? Venezuela, Canada. Canada just added something to it. So I really don't have any idea what was going on in their minds. It was really a very exciting event. I was particularly very excited about CATRIONA's gown. What will she do? What will be the next turn that she would popularize, and so on and so forth. And even before she comes out in her gown, a viewer there, Ram Guanson, had already been feeding me with a lot of information. So he was already giving me a scoop about what CATRIONA might wear. Look at this. Excuse me.
Hello.
So what do you think is CATRIONA's gown?
I think it would be a multicolored gown. It is a fresh to Miss Universe.
Okay.
It will represent not only just the Philippines,
But the
whole universe.
universe.
And
And then what color?
the color,
Yeah, they asked it already.
it's a multicolored. Multicolored. And also the Philippines will be represented by live pearls.
Live pearls.
Live pearls.
Really? So I'm getting excited. I think this is very special. I can visualize it really.
They will leave the judges. CATRIONA will leave the judges no
Breathless.
choice. No choice but to make her the Miss Universe.
Very fearless announcement of confidence.
I'm confident enough.
Thank you,
As CATRIONA said, she is 110%.
But the first thing that we must hurdle is that, is she going to make it to the top 5?
Definitely yes! Para makuha yung illusion na gumagalaw yung fire.
Talaga. So this is the final, this one. And then another thing there was that there are some fears, you know. I was very confident with CATRIONA that she might bring the 4th crown to the Philippines, but still, you know, you have your doubts at that very moment that your best representative is competing. It's a little bit out of order. It's a little bit weird that I felt that I was weak. I felt that I was not sure. I have trust with CATRIONA, but I was not sure of what might come. It was not as stable as I was expecting, with a big star like CATRIONA representing our country. And her capacity to mesmerize the crowd, and her innate talent in coming up with sensational movements. And she has been evidently adorned with a lot of attention and support from the people necessary to a huge pageant like this one. We have been seeing her since day one. A lot of wonderful outfits that solidify her status as a fashion icon, you know. And her fashion is a product of creative and artistic talents of Filipino designers. So it is also a way of promoting them and the Philippine culture in general. So that tension that has started to build up was when Nepal entered the top 20. So I thought, oh my God, she might go to the next round, and that would be a little bit of a hell to other candidates, because evidently she has entered the top 20 because of this, because of that brightness here, and the words of those anti-Philippines or anti-CATRIONA messages across the internet would always bug you, like an underdog will win this year, you know, right? All right, go ahead with your CATRIONA as your top pick. Anyway, let's just see let's just see each other at the finals, because she would be kicked out of the top 5 or the top 3 because a newbie or a non-powerhouse country would win this time. You know, words like that, and those would definitely affect your sense of confidence, however stable that is. Well, in my case, I can't speak of other Filipinos, but so those words scare me a bit, and I kept on asking you know, the people who are there at the viewing party, you know, some questions to ease the tension and to know their feelings towards Catriona's chances of winning. So their words might calm me down a bit. Hello there.
You wanna eat?
Hello there.
Hi, the food is nice.
Do you think Catriona will win?
Nicer.
Do you think Catriona will win?
She should. You know, she's representing Philippines.
The biggest competitor, what do you think? Who do you think is the
Could
biggest
be,
threat?
well, could be Venezuela or Nepal.
Alright. That's frightening. I'm a little bit scared about Nepal, really.
Nepal.
Because as I told my viewers, you know, that the moment Nepal enters, it would be a little bit different.
Grabbing Nepal.
Especially if she is sandwiched by all these four gorgeous girls. For example, Canada, Philippines, Venezuela, and for example, Costa Rica, and then Nepal is in the middle. What do you think? Scary.
CATRIONA.
Yeah, it's not because I don't like her. I like her beauty, and I told you, remember that if they would provide better answer during the, you know, preliminary interview, she would emerge triumphant. She would join the top 20, and she did. But you know, of course, I am a Filipino. I would be pro-Philippines at this point. But in case Nepal is there, you know, I'm a little bit rattled already. I just couldn't imagine. Okay, whatever. Good luck, of course. Good luck, Miss Catriona.
Good luck.
She's Catriona Gray's grandmother. Okay! Shit.
En vivo, en idioma original.
I'm gonna go out there and do my best, and I can feel my country right behind me. So
Is that the one you're talking about?
I'm ready for you too.
Selection committee. It's the evening gown competition.
Okay na? Okay. Okay, get ready with your top 5.
For me,
Let's see who their choices are. Mine, Secret. Okay, let's start.
well, I choose and I prepare Philippines because she's different. Because
Okay, your top 5.
of course, Philippines, South Africa,
Okay.
Vietnam, Canada, and I forgot. Puerto Rico, yeah.
Okay, how about you, darling? Same choices?
Philippines, Puerto Rico, South Africa, Nepal. No, not Nepal.
Canada,
Vietnam and Canada.
All right, yours, darling.
Philippines, Canada, Puerto Rico, South Africa.
Yay! And
Apat lang eh. Apat lang talaga.
top 4? Top 4?
This one.
Can you share?
Umalis pag interview. Kanina pa to.
Okay, darling, your top 5.
Hindi na makakaw. Nagugutom siya. Tuwing siya na ako. Finish na ako, ikaw na. Oo. Finish.
Darling, can you share? From a good-looking guy, who are your top 5?
Philippines,
Philippine.
Canada, Vietnam,
Pero, hindi, bet nila si
2 more.
Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico.
And the last one is...
Ako na lang. Ano ba yan?
Okay, alright, oh my god, they both got top 4 only. I'm very nervous.
I think Africa.
Who is your top 5?
Vamos con
Curacao, Canada, Philippines, Vietnam, and Venezuela.
Alright, every one of you, who is your first runner-up?
South Africa.
South.
Africa.
Venezuela.
South Africa.
South Africa.
South Africa.
Who?
Venezuela.
Venezuela, okay. You, who is your first runner-up?
South Africa.
Okay. So whenever Catriona's name is being called in, it was pandemonium. It was very chaotic. Philippines! And at that moment, I was not the pageant blogger anymore. I was just an ordinary Filipino who is cheering for their representative. So I was really all out with my screams and my jumpings here and there. And we were really very ecstatic, particularly in the end when she was finally proclaimed as the new Miss Universe. Of course, you know what's gonna happen next. Not only Pinoys who are happy, but majority of pageant fans in the world, because they really have, they really have this confidence in Catriona. They really believe in Catriona that she would win, or she might win the crown. With this bashings here and there between some fans, there are still a lot of pageant aficionados who respect each other's opinion and who are very objective in giving their views. You would see an Indian putting Miss India as fourth runner-up, and you would see that her choice would be Philippines. You would see a Puerto Rican, American, and they would also put Catriona in the top 3 and top 5, or maybe their winner. So it's like that. And I'm glad to see such messages of sportsmanship and friendship. There should be some sort of brotherhood, sisterhood within our pageant community. And this is one victory at Miss Universe, that you don't care about what other people say. That, oh my God, there are 2 Filipinos who are sitting as members of the board of jury. Those accusations wouldn't hurt a bit, because Catriona Gray has unquestionably delivered one of the most impressive and finest performances by a Miss Universe winner in the entire history of the Miss Universe pageant. It is simply remarkable, it is simply powerful, it is unforgettable. And with her win, tuloy-tuloy pa rin ang lundagan, tuloy-tuloy pa rin ang sigawan ng mga Pinoys, because Catriona Gray would continue empowering the women of the universe and uplifting the morale of the Filipino people, and make the Miss Universe pageant more prestigious than before. Maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat.